Up next is my cousin Alice Abracen, also a director of the Theresa Foundation. Alice is a writer, actor, and Theresa's granddaughter. She has traveled to Malawi on behalf of the Theresa Foundation and has seen firsthand how much of a difference the foundation can make. She is a recent Dawson graduate and she is studying at Harvard University. Alice.
Testing. That works? That distance? Okay. Hey everyone. I'm Abracen. I'm better known as cousins and Anne's daughter and Theresa Book's granddaughter. And a year ago, I was given the opportunity to travel to Malawi on behalf of the Theresa Foundation with Mr. Doug Miller, and I stayed in the village of Makupo. And anyway, here is a poem that I wrote while recollecting my experiences from Makupo. A child, swathed in sun-bathed stitches, wreathed in scented folds upon her back. In the evening, with the other women, she crouches, rice writhing as it boils, the smell of chicken, real chicken, tough chicken, chicken that's fought and lost tonight to her, luring you from the guest house where you eat, where you are served. The moment you step out, you are eclipsed. Night is darker in Malawi. All the light is from their fire, and as you approach, they are singing. Intuitive harmonies, well-worn hymns, chariot you to the flickering hut. And at the end of each song, when the last faint Jesu has been slowly sighed, you hear them laugh. They don't chuckle. They throw back their heads, devouring the air, and then chorus a brief hesitation. Yay! Breathe arpeggios. Always. You wait for the wordless refrain. You understand it, not the rest. You can't tell if they're talking about AIDS or about malaria. You can't tell if they're talking about miscarriage or widowhood or her old life before. You can only see their worn faces, smiling shyly, hands laden with the future of Africa, hands battered by the past of Africa. You can only guess what they say. And the next day, you can only smile because on her way to draw water, she's been passed the volleyball you brought. You don't know what affects you, only that as the women pass the ball, they briefly borrowed from the children, as they deftly pick their way through the tough sand and bare feet and long chitenje skirts to form a circle, as they giggle at this simple abdication, this stolen joy. Girls again, after so long, and chorus, "Eee!" that you are weeping. As you all know, I just flew in from Boston today, actually. I arrived around 11. And though the visit shall be brief, still I find a great relief in seeing you all here. Families, friends who've seen this through, I thank you now for what you do in lending us an ear. You honor Theresa Book. And grandmama, if you could see some of your lasting legacy of passion and compassion combined in those of us you've left behind, and pardon me, I beg clemency, because this is not original. Some of you might recognize it, a few of you might localize it in your recollections. Just feign amnesia. Please pretend you haven't heard it before and lend me your ears. I come from a family of formidable women, innovators, emancipators, instigators, and creators, now to honor one. Otakamama. You were always engaged with the world around you. You let us adore you, surround you, collapse on your couch or lap after a grueling day at school, lounge by the beach in Cuba and by Monkland Pool, present at every performance theatrical, not to mention a fanatical player of upwards, spectator at soccer games. You rarely relinquished your claims on the Lazy Boy holiday festivities, and heartily engaged in the activities at synagogue, a faith not your own, but one you adopted without a moan. welcomed into your sphere a new religious belief with a prodigious open-mindedness, grew more and more progressive, for your conservative youth incredibly impressive, not to mention more flirtatiously aggressive towards the male sex. I remember once at dinner, we saw a waiter we thought might win your heart, at least on looks alone, so we called you on the phone to inform you of our gorgeous find. You said if you wouldn't mind, it would be helpful if you took a photo and texted it to me for a better look. Yeah. You always had a passion for life in all your roles: mother, wife, sister, grandmother, singer, painter, in every way an entertainer. You never resented the inequalities you faced as a girl in the 30s, embraced decades later that which you were denied. You couldn't pursue opera. You couldn't pay for lessons. Only boys went to college in the day, so you went back to school. Your children grown, and at 85, you sang alone at my mother's 50th, on stage. A coloratura, voice soft with age but still strong, and it had been a long time, decades in fact, but the purity of your voice intact. You founded an activist group for AIDS orphans and grandmothers. You never, ever ignored the other. You once protested on St. Catherine Street the Canadian government's evasion of its obligation to pass Bill C-393, which would guarantee the release of patented drugs to African communities. In a wheelchair, wrapped in blankets, you were still there fighting for something, and that bill was passed by the MP that you'd harassed for months. You are someone who has proved that the world can be improved, that it never is too late to accomplish, travel, and create, that an open mind from any past always triumphs at the last trumpet, that upbringing can be transcended when the other is befriended, that there's always something new that this world can yet pursue, that you are never impotent, socially, politically, and can always implement a difference in this world. There's always something you can do. There's a cause that's waiting just for you, for me, for us. So in that spirit, we take to the stage, take up the mantle to engage the world, and though bereft of you, the shoes you left are hard to fill, but we're going to try. So in accepting your challenge, I welcome you to our benefit soiree, our concert. Time to get underway? There will be more to do. Now that we've taken the cue, we'll labor together in the name of your cause. But for now, for tonight, let's start with applause.